Okay, would everyone please stand for the pledge? This time I'd like to introduce Dave Isley, Marine Corps veteran who works in Lackawanna County Veterans Service Office and does an incredible job. Served in the U.S. Marines for 3 years following 9/11. He's an infantry rifleman. He's a rifleman and pistol expert. He has earned the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal and the National Defense Medal and the Commendation Medal. The floor is yours, David. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would everyone please remain standing? We're going to have a moment of silence for Victoria Bragg, Brian Hayes, and Terry Lee, who lost their lives in Wyoming County at the supermarket this past week. Also, I'd like to keep in mind our 3 U.S. soldiers that lost their lives in Afghanistan, Sergeant Eric Hawk, Sergeant William Bays, and Corporal Dylan Baldridge. And also, yesterday or the day before, we lost 2 corrections officers in Georgia. Corrections Officer Christopher Monica and Curtis Ballou. They were doing a transport with 32 inmates where 2 of them got a hold of their Glocks and they died along the way. I'd like to keep all these individuals and all the other individuals that are out there that lost their lives to senseless situations that should never, ever be happening. It's a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Hey, David. Come on back up to the podium. At this time, I'd like to bring this Wednesday, June 14, 2017 Board of Commissioners meeting to order at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners Conference Room. We just had our pledge by David Isley. Today is a big day for us in our country, and a lot of people. Today is a big. Fran, was that all? That was off the whole time? Okay, let me do this real quick then. Okay. I'd like to bring this Wednesday, June 14, 2014, or just Wednesday, June 14, 2017 Commissioner meetings to order at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners Conference Room. Today is a big day for our country, and I'm sure most of us in this room realize what today is. Today's Flag Day, and June 14th is Flag Day. Whatever day it's on, it's Flag Day. And I just want to remind the viewing audience and the people in attendance today that there's Flag Day events going on throughout Lackawanna County. Not a lot. There's a lot more years ago, but there is some. More than there's been in the past, but there should be more. I mean, this is about our flag that drapes our heroes' caskets. This flag is flown when we go into battle, and this flag flies over our government and our households, and it really matters. And we wanted to bring in a person that's a very, 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 very true veteran that cares about veterans all the time. And that veteran is David Isley. You know, Dave is much more than what he lets on. Dave works on behalf of the vets all the time, every day, and he always cares. And his phone is available 24/7, and he didn't know this was happening today. He just thought he was coming there just to do the pledge of a. God bless you. God bless you.
Don't encourage it.
Just okay. My mother would be mad at me if I didn't say that. So, but okay. Dave, I'm not sure. I'm sure a lot of people in the audience saw. Dave received an award recently, the Francis X. Max McDonald Award, and he. If anybody had a chance to read the story, the person who set up this organization called Veterans Promise is basically around because of the help of Dave and the office and just him being available 24/7. You know, I mean, years ago, people would go to war and they'd come home and they would just go back into their regular life. Well, you know, there was post-traumatic stress disorder as long as there's been war. It has always been there. I have a World War II veteran that has nightmares to this day, and he tells me about it, that he wakes up with sweats like it was yesterday. Now, all of us know, you know, I mean, as you get older, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, it doesn't seem like a long time ago, but it's like yesterday, my friend, it's a World War II vet. And we got a lot of great heroes coming home at this time from overseas, protecting us so we're able to have our freedoms that we're able to practice today and have our government meetings. And Dave is one of these people that makes sure that these individuals that are coming home with post-traumatic stress disorder and any of their other needs, especially money, because our Department of Veterans does a fabulous job at making sure that our veterans are well taken care of. And he's always trying to go further and make it better and do much more all the time. And Dave, we're here because first and foremost because of the award that you won. And that story was really like, to anybody who read it, you do an amazing job.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cummings?
Well, you can never say enough about how much work our veterans do in the area. But what you're doing is something completely different and really commendable. I just read the story now, so I apologize. I don't read the newspapers. Unless somebody gives me an article, which they just did. You know, congratulations and thank you for your service and for all that you're doing. And sorry for all the things that you did go through, but you know, you've taken that and you've turned it around and made it into something that's very special. So
Thank you.
thank you for doing that. And that takes a lot of courage.
Thank you.
Commissioner Terriani?
I was at the event when Dave was given the award on Sunday. It was a very, very moving, very, very touching program with a lot of people involved with it, in it, from the granddaughter of the person the award is named after to the person who awarded it to Dave, who said that Dave saved his life. It was a touching afternoon. It was a great afternoon. They raised some serious money, and it was a bike run, and it was pouring rain Sunday, if anyone remembers. And they still had a fabulous turnout, and it's a tribute to all of them. Thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you.
No, David, you're an asset to the county. You really are. And on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, congratulations. You do a fabulous job every day of the week. And we have certificate of recognition. The County of Lackawanna Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize Dave Isley, Veteran Service Officer, in honor of the Francis X. McDonald Veteran Service Award, given this 14th day of June of 2017 on behalf of Commissioner Patrick O'Malley, Commissioner Jerry Terriani, and Commissioner Lorene A. Cummings. We'd like to come forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you.
Wait for my hand.
Thanks for the warning.
You thought you were going to walk out.
I thought I was going to say go.
Sorry, I didn't see you behind me, so I apologize. I backed up behind noise.
And Mr. Tuffy was going to say something to you.
I'm surprised.
I have to give Dave's organization a little plug. On Sunday, Father's Day, there's a SOS breakfast at the Marine Corps League.
Marine Corps League, 09.
And it's delicious.
It is. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Thank you for your service. Okay. I'd like to make a motion for the reading of the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Cummings,
Yes.
Commissioner Terriani,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley.
Yes. All right, proclamation presentations, 17-0170, The Gathering Place in Clark Summit. Do we have someone here from The Gathering Place? You'd like to come forward?
Good morning.
Dory, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. And if I allowed to speak for a moment,
Absolutely.
I just wanted to thank the county for your support with the Gathering Place. You were one of the very first ones to help us and to award us the Reinvest grant, and that gave us our start, and we have done fabulous things with it. We've been working on this since 2010, more or less. We've started running community enrichment classes back then, but we had no building. We were using church basements, and now, in part because of you, we have a building. We opened our doors in February for the Ice Festival in Clark Summit, and now we are going to be having our real grand opening in October. We still have some work to do.
Dory, I'll tell you what, it's literally, the old fire station's a thriving community center. I can't believe all the great things that you have going on there. And it takes a community. I know you're a huge part of it, but
you.
there's
It takes a village.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are involved. to make this
Absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely. We have no problem with volunteers. A lot of people complain to me, oh, you can't get volunteers. We have some of the most dedicated volunteers that you could possibly imagine. We're really fortunate.
Talk to us about the activity. What's going on?
Well, I have a cheat sheet here.
Use the cheat sheet.
Since we opened our doors for the Ice Festival, we have run 29 classes, including a trip to New York City. We've hosted a local author, Barbara Taylor, who if you haven't read her book, Sing in the Morning, Cry at Night, I highly recommend everybody read it because it's all about this area. It takes place in 1913, and it talks about Providence, and she's just a fabulous author. It's a sad story, but it's a good book. We've held a lecture on the history of Clark Summit. We've developed a program that I'm especially proud of called Craft and Chat, where we take people with and without special needs. They come together to create and relate, and we're just doing things, high-end crafts like needle felting, silk art, and they all come together. With that program, we've partnered with the University of Scranton's Occupational Therapy Department. They have come in and they have run 2 classes. One was guided painting and one was cupcake decorating. It's been very successful. And we're in the process of developing something called a memory cafe, and we're also working with the University of Scranton on that, where people with Alzheimer's and their caregivers could come in and meet and have a little respite and kind of talk to each other. And another thing I'm especially proud of, we have hosted something called All About Theater's Special Actors Workshop, and they have done 2 performances. It's been, as some of you might know, I have a daughter who's 29 and has Down syndrome, so these things are especially close to my heart. But the acting, if we have another one, I hope you can make it. We did a presentation, a theater presentation at the Ice Festival, and we had people crying. The second one was over 50 people. It was standing room only. Michaela Moore, who runs it, has the actors choose their own characters, and she weaves it into a play. It's only about a half an hour, but it's really incredible. So that's just some of the things we're doing. And coming up on June 24th, we are running a Strawberry Festival and 5K. So I have information about it if you'd like to join in. That's all I got.
Great. Commissioner Cummings?
Well, thank you for taking the challenge of putting something like this together, and with nothing apparently, and just, fly by the seat of your pants and try and do something good for the community, and you did it. So thank you so much for doing that and trying to help the community to improve itself. Appreciate your work.
Commissioner Terriani?
Thank you very much, and a great job. And at the rate you're going, you should end up being a model for other communities to do similar things, hopefully, and be able to encourage and teach them how to do the same things in other parts of the county or the area or even the state. Our Children and Youth organization is a model for the state. Mm-hmm. And something like this could be something that would work in a whole bunch of places, and you're doing a great job, and keep up the good work, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I think so too, and I did not mention, but it does help to revitalize the area around at the downtown. And I also didn't mention that really we're working towards having an art gallery and doing Fourth Fridays there and bringing in all local artists. So there's so many facets to this. It was hard to think of them all, mention them all, but thank you.
Thank you.
Dory, you want to talk about the website? Where could they, if the information, what's going on, people want to find out, phone number?
Sure. Phone number's my phone number at this point in time, but I'll give it out. It's on brochures, which I happen to have one here. But our website is gatheringplacecs.org. And we do have our list of classes. We are running some summer programming that we are working on right now. And we're also putting together our fall schedule, which has a really incredible arts in it. And also, more bus trips. We're running a trip to Glimmer Glass for the opera this summer. So we're really doing a lot of things. And the other thing I did want to mention is we don't have a kitchen yet. We're working towards putting our kitchen in. But once we put the kitchen in, we're going to do something sort of like a chef's kitchen, or chef's table rather, where we run cooking classes. They're our most successful. And those chefs would cook a meal as a fundraiser, but we would have people with special needs be the waiters and waitresses. So that's something we're working towards also.
No, that's great. That is great. So it's at 304 State Street, the Gathering Place. We have a certificate of recognition. The County of Lackawanna Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize the Gathering Place in honor of achieving a designation as a community organization providing great works in Lackawanna County, given the 14th day of June of 2017 by Commissioner Patrick O'Malley, Commissioner Jerry Notarianni, and Commissioner Lorraine A. Cummings. Would you like to come forward?
Thank you. Not that way.
Congratulations.
One more old time. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
There's always something great going on in Lackawanna County. 17-0171, Small Business Spotlight. LaSalle, the Image Makers. Lorraine, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Commissioners. I appreciate what you're doing for us.
And you are Mr. D'Angelo?
I'm the son. My father is 89. He couldn't make it today. He had a prior commitment.
Okay.
But we've been in the retail business for 40 years, and before that he was a manufacturer in Scranton, and he used to manufacture pants for suits. And when the stuff started going down south, we decided to stay in Scranton and open up a retail business.
You know, 40 years, you guys have national recognition. Besides the fact that they, when you walk out of there, you're dressed to the nines. They also were on American Pickers because they have a lot of great antiques.
Were
Correct.
you really?
Tell some, yeah, they were on last
Yeah, we were on
year.
November 12th, 2012, actually. We were on the American Pickers, and they actually bought suits also.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Like
My
it
father
says,
doesn't
yeah.
let anybody go out of the store without buying a suit. He's from the old school. He said that we can get a computer and a copier when they perfect them. So, because he doesn't spend any money. No. We do personal service. My father is the tailor. We don't send anything out. He still sews by hand
gosh.
and machine. He's an old craftsman, and he said that someday he's gonna let me get behind the machine. Maybe when he's 100, I could get behind the machine, but right now, no. We cater to a lot of different types of people. We also do all the alterations for the professional team up at the Rail Riders. We do all
Absolutely.
theirs. So it's been fun. We're going to stay in Scranton, and we're here to stay.
That's great. Now, do you have any children that are coming up in the ranks to take
I
over?
do, but nobody's in there wants to go into the retail business.
Yeah.
They all have their own thing. I have children. My brother has children. My sister has. Nobody's staying into it, but that's okay. We'll be here another 40 years at least.
What about your Aunt Angie? She's retired now. Can she do it?
She retired from the airport. She's going to be 100. My father's other sister is 92. We got one 98. My father's 89. So
That's
You got great
fantastic.
genes.
Great
Yeah,
genes.
That's fantastic. I love that story.
Your father was just honored at the ring ceremony of the Rail Riders. I
That's
was on the
correct,
field.
and he was with you.
That's
Yeah.
where I was looking at him and thinking to myself, we should have him come in.
Yes,
But I'm glad you're here.
You know, he had a prior commitment that he didn't realize that he had, but he appreciates what you're doing for him, and we'll be here to stay.
Well, we appreciate what you do every day.
Thank you.
And like I said, this is, truthfully, this is great. The suit price is below $200. You don't,
Under
you don't have that.
$200,
You don't
yep.
have that anywhere, especially with the service. That's the key.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to get a suit. It's another thing to get alterations. I mean, you guys are taking care of right on the spot.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
there was a couple of funerals this week that the people, they had young kids and younger adults that didn't have suits, and we had to get them ready that day. So you can't get that anyplace else.
No, you don't get that. Like you said, this is a family-run business. 40 years, you and your dad.
Yeah, we brought up
It's inspirational, really.
four
Is.
families. Now there's only me and my dad and my mom, but we're here to stay.
Commissioner Terriani?
I've been going to that store for 40 years. It's great. I was really disappointed your mom and dad aren't here.
I know.
I would like to have seen them. But, and you're right about the children. I would not want my children to go into my business, which is also here 40 years. It's a difficult retail and is a difficult situation anymore. The world has changed, but it's still great to have the small, local mom and pop places, whether it's a clothing store or a automotive machine shop. It's important. It's the backbone of the community. And thank you for everything. And your clothes are great. And tell your mom and dad I said hello. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. LaSalle, thank you so much for continuing your parents' work. And I'm really proud to know you and meet you, because these are the stores that have given us the ability to continue growing in our communities. And your whole family has helped to make that happen. So, and you continue to do so. And I love the fact that your dad is still working and just going. I mean, it's just such a testament to the people of our area. So thank you so much for coming in. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Today we give a certificate of recognition. The County of Lackawanna Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize LaSalle, the image maker, in honor of achieving the designation of a small business spotlighted in Lackawanna County, given this 14th day of June 2017 by Commissioner Patrick O'Malley, Commissioner Jerry Notarianni, and myself, Commissioner Lorraine Cummings. Come on up, Mr. LaSalle.
Thank you.
Watch the wire there. Oh, I'm sorry, D'Angelo.
Thank
I'm
you.
so sorry.
That's okay. Thank you.
D'Angelo,
Thank you.
thank you so much. And you have a very nice suit.
Here we go. On three, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more, all smiles.
Thank you.
I got your name on.
Dad, we missed him and your mom, okay?
Tell your dad I would love to meet him one day. I mean,
Sharp as a tack. He's way to beat him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a woman, so I wouldn't go to their shop.
He doesn't forget nothing. Thank you.
You buy some for that grandson of yours, a little suit.
Oh, that'd be, you know what, maybe I'll take little
Bring her a
Dookie
little
over.
suit. Do
Get him a
that.
suit. He'd look so cute.
Oh,
My God.
absolutely.
He's so adorable.
Okay, department overview. Parks and Recreation Director William Davis.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
As you can imagine, this time of year, we're very busy over at Parks. I'm just going to give you a brief overview with some of the activities we have going on.
Let's talk about our free swimming and all the good things that are going on so people get out and enjoy their families and it doesn't cost them anything. Let's talk about it.
Well, one thing I just want to point out, because I don't think everybody always avails themselves to it, that where our 4 parks are. We have 4 county parks: McDade and Scranton, Merle Cernowski in Greenfield Township, Aylesworth in Archibald, and Covington Park, which is our newest park in Covington Township. We have swimming, as you said, at all 4 facilities. The pool at McDade will be opening this Saturday, as well the lakes at Merle Cernowski, Covington, and Aylesworth. And we have lifeguards there from 11 to 7 every day, 7 days a week throughout the summer. And it's, as you said, it's free. So a lot of, especially we opened swimming at Covington last year for the first time, and it was very popular, especially in the North Pocono area. So it's good that it's getting used, but especially when it's hot weather like we've had the last few days, people will be coming out to swim.
You'll be thrilled this Saturday.
Yep, absolutely. Some of the other things I just wanted to mention very briefly is our clinics. We have a number of clinics, and the list of the clinics is actually on the county website, so anybody can download it with the forms and the applications for each individual one. Some of the ones that we have coming up are soccer, tennis, golf, basketball, and gymnastics. And that goes on throughout the summer. So I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that, and we're taking registrations now for all of those. Some of the other things that we also have coming up are Art in the Park program. Will be starting July 11th, and that will be at Merle Cernowski Park, Covington Park July 18th, Aylesworth Park July 25th, and the last one would be at McDade Park on August 1st. And that goes from 10 a.m. to noon, and Maureen McGuigan does a great job organizing a lot of the artists who come and kind of help do displays, but also get
Musicians
the kids
are there sometimes. It's great.
Musicians, painting. Some people bring clay, arts and crafts, a lot of that sort of stuff. So I just want to encourage people to come out, and that's, again, another free event that we offer.
And what time is that at?
It starts at 10 a.m. and goes till noon on those dates.
To the viewing audience, please, it's a great experience. Bring your children, I would say, probably 3 years of age up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something for everyone to do. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
But also, we have on June 24th, we're having our Family Fun Day, and that's at McDade Park, and it's Bike Safety Day. And that's going to be 11 to 2, and I'd like to ask Christine Sullivan to come up and talk about what's going on that day.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Christina.
Good morning.
Let's talk about making sure the kids are safe.
Yes. Well, I know that we're going to have some helmet checks, and we're going to have, of course, an obstacle course, not necessarily a bike rodeo, to teach the children how to wear their bicycle helmet safely.
I'll put the mic down so you can.
And how to ride their bikes properly, and to teach them some hand signals. Some are on trikes, some are a little bit smaller. We're going to have some coloring for them. We're going to have a lot of safety material for them. I know that bags have been put together. We also have a lot of information for the parents on bicycle safety. We also have some adult bicycle safety information. So it's going to be a really fun day. We're also planning an additional one with our traffic partners. That's going to be in August, and that's going to be a bike rally, and we're going to have a child passenger check for seatbelt safety for the children. But I'll get a flyer out over to the commissioners for that. But the commissioners' annual bike rally is a really great event. One of the highlights is that all of the children are going to get free helmets, and it's so needed. I have been out in the preschools, and there are a lot of children that are not aware, and the parents be it through maybe not knowing or ignorance, that everyone under 12 has to wear a helmet, and these are little ones that are riding without helmets. So it's really a great opportunity to be able to provide, I think most importantly, the helmets to the children. I also understand the Scranton Police will be there to do some fingerprinting and do some license for the bikes and bike registration and whatnot. So welcome all, and hopefully we'll have a good turnout.
You do a great job. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you.
Now,
Christina,
Bill.
that's a
sorry.
law?
Under 12, yes.
Even for,
It is 12 and under. helmet.
if they're on a tricycle?
Well, 12 and under.
Really?
Bill, talk about our website and phone number. If anybody wants any information on any of our events or
Sure.
park hours, any of that
well,
stuff.
for the clinics that we put out through Parks and Recreation, we can be reached at 963-6764. As I mentioned before, all the forms are under the Parks Department on the county website at lackawannacounty.org. Another thing I wanted to mention, which will be coming up later in the summer, is the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. I believe the forms are being distributed now for that, and that will be July 28th and 29th. And lastly, this Friday rather,
Second annual.
Senior Fun Day, which will go from 10 to 1. There'll be food, music, bingo, various games for seniors, and I believe that they were getting the community relations was getting the word out to a lot of the senior centers, so we hope for a good turnout.
And they get to go on the mine tours, and they get to
That's
go on
right.
museum tours.
Yes.
And all the options at the park are available to them for that day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please remember anyone that would like to come up on Friday, June 16th. It's Senior Fun Day at McDade Park, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we added the bingo this year, and there will be coffee available. These are some of the things that the seniors brought up, so we'll be adding to it every year. Okay. Opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only. Okay. Oh, I just want to also bring up, and I'm not sure if Bill said this, all of our swimming is free for all 4 of our parks, so please come on out, and it's a hot day, please come out and enjoy our lakes or our pool. Okay, 17-0168.
Approving current payables, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County hereby approve the following payables from the Lackawanna County General Fund, numbers 243-713 through 245-332 inclusive, totaling $5,594,465.96. Electronic fund transfers, including all payroll accounts, totaling $7,780,515. And Commissioner or Controller DeVillio, let's hear if there are any questions.
Gary, everything good?
Yes, all the invoices have been audited and payrolls reviewed prior to everything being paid. And if you have any particular questions at all, let us know and we'll be happy to talk to you.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, I'd like to make a motion approving current payables. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Thank you, Gary, for your
Thanks,
work.
Gary.
Appreciate it.
17-0152.
Authorizing community traffic safety grant application. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby authorize the following of a grant application. Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for Community Traffic Safety Project. Project will address highway safety issues, intervention strategies will target schools, communities, and reinforcements. Grant shall cover a period of October 1st, 2017 through September 30th, 2018. Be it further resolved, the Chairman of the Board of Commissioners or the Vice Chairman of the Board are authorized and directed to sign the attached grant, and that the Chief of Staff be authorized and directed to attest the same. Mr. George Kelly, Director of our Economic and Community Development Office, is here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Good
Mr.
morning,
Kelly, how are you?
Commissioners. This is an annual grant that we submit to PennDOT to fund a full-time position to do highway safety traffic coordination. You heard Christina Sullivan just a couple of minutes ago talk about bike safety. That is one of the programs. What would be good is if we could have Christine just tell you very briefly the 3 or 4 major focus of the programs so you could fully understand all the things that the county does in conjunction and partnership with PennDOT to help reduce crashes and fatalities. So Christina, come on back up. She does it so much better than I do.
Commissioners, thank you for your time this morning.
Christine,
They keep
push
they
that
do
down,
the-
yeah.
They do the same thing to me, so I feel bad.
I just have a handout, if you don't mind, just something brief for you
Sure.
to look at. And I'm not going to be long.
The cord.
You tell I come here a lot. This is everything that the grant encompasses, just so you have an idea.
Thanks.
We have some commissioners that-
Thank you.
The Lackawanna County Highway Safety Program is a community safety project, And we cover Lackawanna and Pike counties, with the majority of what we do in Lackawanna County. At present time, as of April of 2016, there are 174,243 registered vehicles in Lackawanna County alone. In 2016, Pennsylvania had a record low of 1,188 fatalities, which has been the lowest since 1928, and 7 less fatalities than in 2015. And we hope to continue that downward number, to take that number downward, but there's still much to do to change driver behavior. This happens to be the 30th anniversary of the grant for Lackawanna County. The first grant was obtained in 1987 when Pennsylvania's seatbelt law went into effect. What I do as a community traffic safety program coordinator is raise awareness of traffic safety laws. I address safety focus areas to determine the most appropriate programs and countermeasures to impact identified areas, address the critical safety needs by analysis of the crash data, and I follow a highway safety calendar to plan activities in addition to the other programming. We do public educational programs, education, and our outreach is very vital. Some of the programs and some of the behavioral programs in our traffic safety topics include aggressive, impaired, DUI, distracted, and speeding, motorcycle, school bus, work zone, pedestrian, seatbelt, child passenger, which is child restraint programs, and bicycle safety, heavy and commercial truck and railroad safety, enforcement outreach, young teen driver and mature driver, fall and winter driving safety, and we also work with PennDOT's Yellow Dot and emergency programs, aggressive driving enforcement waves, and click it or ticket enforcement waves. My success of these programs is directly related to maintaining partnerships with law enforcement, daycares, schools, colleges, community groups, fire, EMS, hospital, businesses, and parenting groups. Does anyone have any questions?
I had an opportunity to visit one of the preschools where Christina was actually talking to kids about seatbelt safety. And it was great. The kids were totally on board, and they asked a lot of questions that they probably wouldn't get answered anybody else, but Christina was there to make sure of it. So,
Yes,
and
they're
the
very
helmets even.
questionable at that age. They really are. So.
In the helmet situation,
Yeah,
most of those
the
children
helmet.
never wear a helmet.
No.
So it gives them an opportunity. If they're out, they won't hurt their heads.
No. Can I answer any questions for anyone? No? Thank you very much,
You do a great
Commissioners.
job.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Christina.
everyone. Thank you.
You're bringing it to a different level.
Thank
It's
you.
going up. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to make a motion authorizing the community traffic safety grant application. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. 17-0153.
Entering into a cooperation agreement with German Borough, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of the County of Lackawanna is hereby authorized to enter into a cooperation agreement with the Borough of German related to the Commonwealth Finance Agency Flood Mitigation Program for the German Borough Rushbrook Creek Flood Control Project. Be it further resolved, the County of Lackawanna does hereby designate the Chairman of the Board of Commissioners as the official to execute all documents and agreements related to this cooperation agreement. All prior agreements for this project entered into by and between the parties are superseded by this agreement. And again, Mr. Kelly is here to explain the agreement.
Mr. Kelly, how are you?
Good morning again. Flood control project up in German on Route 107. At least 10 years ago, the storm came through and washed out bridges, washed out areas, and we have some major flooding issues. So we've been working with several different grants to put all the pieces together to help German solve their issues. We're doing the administration of the grant. We submitted on their behalf, but we need this cooperation agreement to protect the county in the event there's any cost overruns or any issues where a granting body or someone who gives us the money comes back and looks for a repayment for any reasons. And this formalizes that agreement.
Okay. Does the board have any questions? Okay, I'd like to make a motion entering into a cooperation agreement with German. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. 17-0165.
Entering into an agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for the EARN Grant Agreement 17-18, the EARN Signature Page Grant Agreement, the EARN DPW Addendum to the STC dated 11/21/2012, the EARN Lobbying Certification Forms, the Standard Terms and Conditions, the FFATA Forms, the HIPAA Forms, the Narrative Summary 6517 Forms, the Payment Programs 1718 Rider Forms, and the Work Statement Forms. Entering into this agreement, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners is hereby enter into this and all agreements with the Commonwealth to serve as a fiscal agent for the Lackawanna County Workforce Development Board in regard to the Employment Advancement and Retention Network, providing services to client transitioning from welfare to workforce, to be effective July 1, 2017 through June 30th, 2018. Be it further resolved that in the event of an addendum amendment to an existing workforce contract is required to provide for a timely modification of contract language or provisions, either financial or non-financial, the Chair of the Board of Commissioners is hereby solely affix his or his signatures to the document in question, and Mr. Kelly would be happy to explain all of the narrative forms on this and all of the initials that I used to save a few minutes. Mr. Kelly?
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Kelly.
What this is a grant from the state of Pennsylvania to the county,
Today.
which gets passed on to the Workforce Investment Board, Workforce Development Board. We're the fiscal agents. We're responsible for managing to make sure everything is done fully transparent and above board. So the money comes from the state to us. It gets passed over to the Workforce Development Board, and they're responsible to go out for bid, to procure the services, to provide these very important services. It's a little over $500,000, $519,000, and the primary focus is to take people on public assistance, give them training, help them write resumes, give them real-life work skills to prepare them for employment. So it's definitely a hand-up type program where we're helping people who don't have jobs that have been on public assistance get the right skill sets to get employed.
Nice. Nice, George. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, I would like to know the results of last year's program and how many people were actually taken from welfare to work, and the success rate of the money that was utilized last year.
I'll be glad to get that for you, Commissioner.
Can we have that for the next meeting?
Definitely so. What I'll do is I'll come back in and give you an update on that program. In addition, at the next meeting, we probably will be awarding the contract for this program for a service provider to provide these services. The Workforce Investment Board, Development Board, is required to report on their statistics, their percentages of getting people jobs, retention in jobs. They also look for it too, not just placing them, making sure they stay. So we have to report that on a quarterly or an annual basis to the state board, so we'll have that information for you.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I'd like to make a motion entering into an agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. Okay, 17-0166.
Entering into a purchase of additional services agreement with Educational Data Systems, Inc., be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby enter into a purchase of additional services agreement and awards $50,000 in rapid response funding to Educational Data Systems, Inc., to be used for individuals meeting eligibility requirements for dislocated workers as defined by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act of 2014. Mr. Kelly.
What this is, we have a service provider, EDSI, that does services for adults and displaced workers at our CareerLink One-Stop Career Center. There's a need to provide additional individualized training accounts and on-the-job training for people so they can either maintain their jobs or upgrade to a new job. We had money left over in Rapid Response, which is the program where the CareerLink will go out to a company that's experienced a major layoff and try to work before the people leave employment to find them other jobs. So we had a little bit of money left over from Rapid Response. It's being transferred over. So, and our original contract with EDSI for adult and displaced workers says that anything that is changed in terms of money should be an addendum to the contract. So I wanted to run it by the board.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Kelly?
So it's $50,000 you had left over from a different program?
Yes, Rapid Response. So let's say, for example, a company right close to us is laying off 20 to 30 people, they'll notify the commissioners, they'll notify the Workforce Investment Board, and then we'll send a business service team into that location if the employer is willing to let us go in to try to help those people find other jobs. And it's been a successful program because we have had layoffs where companies have been very good to let us in, which reduces their unemployment claims if they're still in business.
Where have we used it before?
Excuse me?
Where have we used it before?
We've used it at General Dynamics. There is a clothing company that is currently planning on laying off employees, and we're in there right now working with them. They've been very helpful. Typically with that, we won't release the information until after we're done because they don't have their names. But there's been several companies. When Cinram was laying off, we sent people up there underneath this program, Rapid Response, but also we had some international trade dollars because they're affected by international companies and competition.
If you didn't reinvest this money, where else would it, what would you
It
have
would
to do?
stay in the in the Rapid Response program until the end of the contract. We're allowed to carry over 20% of the funds into next year, but anything over that, we would actually lose and not be able to use that money. So there's a need for the training right now. Actually, if you look at the details, we have to spend this money by June 30th, 2017. So we've actually had EDSI go ahead and do the training, and we've set this request down to the state. They've taken the money out of our rapid response. They just haven't credited into our adult displaced worker bucket yet, but it will be coming in the next week or two. So the work is currently underway because it is use it this year or else we'll lose it.
So when you say use it or lose it, that means what?
We're allocated certain monies every year through the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act.
Can I just mean, where does the money go? You don't have to go through a big dissertation.
Okay.
Where does it go?
It goes back to the state and they'll
The general
deal with
fund? At the state level or into this program?
It's part of the Workforce Development Fund, so we return it back to Department of Labor Industry.
Labor and Industry. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I'd like to make a motion entering into the purchase of additional service agreement with Educational Data Systems, Inc. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
No.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, George. Okay. 17-0154.
Commissioners, with the permission of the Board of Commissioners, I would like to combine at the suggestion of Solicitor Frederickson, items 17-0154, 155, 156, 157, 158, and 159. Read them as one resolution, and Mr. Browning will be available to explain. It's going to take me a few minutes as I go through and read each one of these, but it will save you monumental time if you allow me to do that.
Please.
Is the board okay?
Good.
Good.
Approving a human service block grant, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the human service block grant in the amount of $11,072,332 for fiscal year 2017-2018. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve a 3-year time-limited family reunification grant between the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Lackawanna County Department of Human Services in the amount of $158,000 for each fiscal year. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve an agreement between the University of Pittsburgh Child Welfare Education for Leadership Program and Department of Human Services Office of Youth and Family Services for student Rebecca Brojak. Approving a Human Service Amendment 17157, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the amendment to Adult Services Contract between Department of Human Services, Jewish Family Services for fiscal year 2017, approving the addendums for the Office of Youth and Family Services as specified in Resolution 0158, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the addenduments and amendments to professional contracts for Children's Advocacy Center and the Info Matrix Corporation for fiscal year 2017. And finally, Resolution 17-0159, approving Office of Youth and Family Service Provider and Professional Services. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the Department of Human Services Office of Youth and Family Service Provider and Professional Contracts for fiscal year 2017-2018 as attached hereto. And as I stated earlier, Mr. William Browning, Director of the Lackawanna County Department of Human Services, is here to amplify and explain each one of these agreements in detail prior to you voting on them.
Good morning, Mr. Browning.
Good morning, Commissioner. This is, we're closing in on the end of we operate on a state fiscal year, so almost all of these are the routine contracts and continuation of last year's contracts that cover everything, housing and homelessness, child welfare services, behavioral health services, intellectual disability services, some drug and alcohol services. And like I said, these are just a continuation of those programs. The others, the amendments are that were discussed are areas where there was increased utilization. So we've come back to ask to exceed the cap on those areas, but we're using those dollars that we've saved in other areas. So there is no actual additional county dollars, and that's for Jewish Family Services because we've had more referrals to them for family counseling. Child Advocacy Center, we've used them more for forensic services, especially medical services. And let's see if there's another one in here. I believe that's, an Infomatrix. That is the child welfare database that we are required to use a database in the county, and it is for additional development costs. And the Brojack contract is for the Masters in Social Work program that we've had for many years, and it's been very successful. And we have a lot of our workers have achieved Masters of Social Work at no cost to the county.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Browning?
Mr. Browning, on the legislature, I know there was a letter that was sent to the legislature regarding the cuts that might be coming in human services. That was sent by CCAP to the actual even though CCAP is 80%, 80% of the counties are Republican right now. They thought that it was a good idea to go and send the Republican legislature a letter about how they disagree with the budget. Anyway, so are you prepared for the cuts that might be coming? Are you looking at?
We're constantly analyzing the situations. We're concerned, obviously, with some of the cuts, especially to the related departments, such as adult probation, juvenile probation, which will have a ripple effect on the human services that we provide.
Right, that's what they were saying on human services. It's going to be difficult. So I just wanted to make sure that you're keeping on toe with that, because I'm voting for this today based on the fact that you're prepared for changes if they're needed. And I just want to get that on the record, that
yes,
you are.
As much as I can be prepared with what's in front of us now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, I'd like to make the motion for 17-0154, 17-0155, 17-0156, 17-0157, 17-0158, and 17-0159. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
17-0160.
This is approving provider agreements for the Office of Drug and Alcohol. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby approve the provider agreements list for the Department of Human Services, Lackawanna, Susquehanna Office of Drug and Alcohol Programs for fiscal year 2017-2018 as attached hereto, and there are several pages of these. A Better Today, Choices of Northeastern Pennsylvania, Clearbrook Manor, Clem House, Mark, Colonial House, Conewago Place, Snyder, Conewago Place, Pottsville, Drug and Alcohol Rehab Services, Eagleville Hospital, Gateway for Men, Gateway for Women, Gateway Rehab Center, Aliquippa, Gateway Rehab Center, Moffett, Gatenzia, Chamber Hill Adolescent Program, Gatenzia Common Ground, Gatenzia Fountain Springs, Gatenzia New Destiny Habitat, OPCO, Just Believe Recovery Center, Liberati Home Center, Lordsmouth Behavioral Health Services, Marworth, New Astra, Pennsylvania Treatment of Healing, Pennsylvania Treatment of Healing Scranton, Pyramid Health Hillside, Pyramid Health Belleville, Pyramid Health Pine Ridge, Pyramid Health Duncanville, Pyramid Health Langhorne, Pyramid Health Quakertown, Pyramid Health Cord, Graticord, Gratitude House, Pyramid Health Corps, the Tradition House, the Retreat of White Birch, Treehab Center, Montrose, Turning Point Alternative Living Solutions, Treatment Trends, Treatment House, White Deer Run, Brandywine, White Deer Run, Cove Behavioral, Williamsport, White Deer Run for Recovery, White Deer Run, Allenwood, White Deer Run, Blue Mountain, the Wright Center, pending licensing, Community Intervention Center, Drug and Alcohol Treatment Services, Equal Opportunity Training Center, Mission Yoga, Treehab Center, Montrose, Behavioral Health Research, Jeffrey Leitzel, Equal Opportunity Employment Center, Keystone College, Lackawanna County College, Northeastern Educational Intermediate Unit, Treehab Center, Montrose, Voluntary Action Center, and Mr. Jeremy Yale, our Director of Behavioral Services for Lackawanna and Susquehanna County, is here to explain all of these agreements that I just read through in 30 seconds or less.
Which was very impressive. Thank you, Chief.
Speed reader.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
These are our standard contracts for 2017, 2018. The best way to think about these, or one way to think about these many providers that Andy just read to us, these are our inpatient providers, our outpatient providers, our intervention providers, and then our prevention providers. Just to speak generally about this work, the Board of County Commissioners has been very supportive of me personally and to the office around the work that needs to be done. And there is a lot of work being done in our community. The opioid epidemic is really taken hold, and we are working very collaboratively with many of our community partners. These contracts really represent a bulk of our initiatives or resources going into treatment and services and supports for individuals and families that are being impacted. Our office is certainly part of the solution and engages with individuals and families at some of the most vulnerable times in their life. And so we have again, been focusing in on outpatient. We have also been working very collaboratively with our centers of excellence as they have come online. That was one of the governor's initiatives to get organized and get resources out into the communities to address the opioid issue. So.
Does the board have any questions for Mr. Yale?
Same question as I asked Mr. Browning.
Sure. Very concerned about the budget. We're paying attention to House Bill 218. There seemed to be maybe this is commentary and I should watch this, but there seemed to be a disproportionate amount of impact in the criminal justice area. The short answer to that, Commissioner, is that yes, we're paying very close attention to it, and we'll be prepared to adjust as needed.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion approving the provider agreement for the Office of Drug and Alcohol. Do I have a second? Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you.
17-0162.
Yeah, at this time, Commissioner, I'd like to announce that I am removing 17-0161 from the agenda at the suggestion of Solicitor Brazil, who is doing an opinion on whether or not this is a professional service or it has to be bid by the county, and he'll render that opinion, and if necessary, we'll replace it on our next Commissioner agenda. So I will go into 17-0162 as Commissioner O'Malley just stated, the awarding of arts and financial grants. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby award arts and culture mini grants to the following community organizations: to the Borough of Dalton, $500 for concerts at the Streamside Park; to the Borough of German, $500 for a community concert at the Rippey Callahan Recreational Park; to the Borough of Jessup, $500 for summer events at the Station Park; and to the Borough of Moscow, $2,500 pooled funds with Thornhurst, Clifton, Covington, and Madison for a concert series
and Mr. Chris Calvi, Assistant to Maureen McGuigan in the Cultural Affairs Department, is here to explain these agreements. Maureen is out of town.
Good morning, Mr. Calvi.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, Chief of Staff. These are mini grants for art projects in local municipalities. And as you heard in the resolution, some of them are concerts, most of them are concerts. And there's one group up in the Moscow, Clifton, Covington, Madison, and Thornhurst Township that grouped together with the Pocono Cultural Society. And they provide concerts on Mondays in Moscow, which has been going on for years, and it's very successful. And they have great entertainment planned this year: Arcadia Chorale, Old Timers Fiddlers, Harmonic Brass Band, which is from Germany, which will be playing in St. Catharines. So we'd ask the commissioners to consider funding these mini grants for the municipalities.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions?
I had a quick question, but I can't. I'm sure I'll have to ask Maureen, so I'll hold off on it until she gets back. Thank you, Chris.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion awarding arts and culture grants. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. 17-0163.
Entering into a cooperation agreement with Intercom, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby enter into a co-promotional agreement with Intercom LLC, the City of Scranton, and Scranton Tomorrow with respect to the Scranton Spectacular scheduled on July 3rd, 2017 at the Lackawanna County Courthouse.
Mr. Calvi.
Yeah, this is a entertainment, the Scranton Spectacular, on July 3rd, with the activity starting at 4 p.m. Local live music at 5 p.m. with Katie Evans, Signs of Wonders, and No Vacancy. And then the Philharmonic will be playing at 7:30. Local vendors are present, and food and refreshments are available to those participating. And it draws quite a few residents of Lackawanna County and neighboring communities.
Does the board have any questions?
Is this money coming from arts and culture, or is this?
Yes, it is, Commissioner Cummings.
To the viewing audience, please make sure you get there early. It's July 3rd. It's a great fireworks display. We got the Philharmonic. Thousands of people come out to it every year, so please put it on your calendar, July 3rd. Fireworks, Philharmonic, just great family entertainment. Come early.
And
Anyone else
there's
have any questions?
parking provided in the local parking authorities for a basic fee.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, I'd like to make a motion entering into the co-promotion agreement with Intercom. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. Thanks, Chris. 17-0164.
Granting Scranton Tomorrow funding request, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby grant the Economic Development Cultural Partnership funding request of $16,000 for Scranton Tomorrow organization for the drive-in for a downtown free movie series and July 3rd fireworks display with the appropriate breakdown. July 3rd fireworks display of $10,000 in the drive-in downtown free movie series of $6,000.
Okay, Chris.
The fireworks are for July 3rd, and then the movie series, Drive-In Downtown Free Movie Series, it starts mid-July through August. It's family-friendly. It's partnered with Lackawanna Library System, which provides activities, and it serves the underserved of our community. And it's a great mix of demographics and age levels, from young to old. And it's just a great evening of these movies. And the movies in the past have been Star Wars, E.T., Rudy, and Frozen. So it's a good mixture for the family entertainment and brings the family unity together.
Does the board have any questions? I'd just like to bring up that the Scranton School District also puts on movies over the summer, and they're coordinating, so none of the movies are on the same day. So there'll be, I think it's approximately 8 movies that will be shown over the entire summer. And I think our events have free popcorn. So please, for our 4 movies down at the courthouse, please come on out. We have beautiful lawn seats, and it'll be a great day for the family. Just come out and enjoy the courthouse and enjoy the night with their family.
How much is the total on all this? This is all for one day, correct? These two
No, the
events?
fireworks is 10,000 and the movies are 6,000. There's several movies.
Okay. But now the other one we just voted on, that was more than that. But, well, I'll just look at it again. All right, thanks.
I'd like to make a motion granting the Scranton Tomorrow funding request. Do I have a second?
Second, reluctantly.
Commissioner Terriani?
Roll call.
You get a second?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
roll call.
seconded.
Okay. Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. 17-0169.
This is entering into a collective bargaining agreement. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby enter into a collective bargaining agreement by and between the County of Lackawanna and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees District Council 87 AFL-CIO, Office of Youth and Children's Services, contract effective January 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2021. And Mr. Justin McGregor, Director of Lackawanna County Division of Human Services, is here to outline the agreement and explain it to the Board of Commissioners.
Good morning, Commissioners. First off, I'd like to start by saying that I believe this contract is reasonable for both sides. Negotiations were respectful and cordial. They went smooth and they were completed relatively quickly. And I believe part of that is because we've managed to restore positive labor relations. And with that said, I'd like to thank Lou and Matt and Mary Rose over there for working cordially with our team. Are there any questions that the Commissioners have in regards to this contract?
Does you have any questions?
Yeah, I had some issues in the contract with days off, but I'd like to make a statement on it. When I learned about the finalized negotiations on Lackawanna County and the union representing children and youth, I understand, I appreciate the fact that the contract negotiations should take place between trained and skilled representatives of the county whose expertise in such matters neither I nor members of the public have had any opportunity to review the proposed contract terms and its financial impact on the county. While closed-door negotiations are the norm for such matters, I believe that the results of the negotiations should at the very least be made available for public review prior to the time that contracts of this nature are enacted, for reasons of transparency, which I will explain further under new business, but I struggled with which way I was going to vote on this. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I'm still debating, I guess, when the time, a couple minutes comes. But, you know, I understand that you are new and you're doing an excellent job, Justin. Just so you know, I see the work you're doing and you're working very hard, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that the unions are, you know, coming in to work with us as well. There are just some fundamental principles that I don't stand for in that union contract. That's what I'm struggling with. So I appreciate all the work that everybody did on it, and I don't want to upset the apple cart here, but I would at least like to see some transparency on union contracts, and I would hope, you know, I'll, like I said, I'll discuss that further in new business. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, I've been around here since 2012. And I saw a lot of adversarial situations between our unions and the administration. And all I ever saw what happened was it put us into a situation with binding arbitration, and we lost lots of money. And I spoke to Mr. Durkin about this. These numbers work within our budget. No one walks away completely happy because that's how negotiations go. But we're working with our unions to make sure that, you know, I mean, everybody gets something that they need to move forward. So I'm very happy with the fact that our union representation is here today. I'd like to thank Lou and everyone else that's here, Raul, and I'd like to thank Justin, who's doing a fine job on our contracts at this time.
This has been an ongoing body of work for quite some time that I know I was aware of what was going on, and I know I've talked with Justin and with the unions. And I think that they have worked hard, and again, it is within our, what we budgeted and what we thought we would, and actually it's below that in certain situations, and we've got some things, concessions from the union, and the union got some concessions from us. I'm very happy with this, and I think everybody did a great job. Thank you.
Great job, everyone.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion, entering into a collective bargaining agreement. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
I abstain.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. Thanks, Justin. Good job. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming out today. Thank you. Okay, 17-0167.
Appointments to the Lackawanna County Conservation District Board. Be it resolved, Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County does hereby reappoint the following individuals to Lackawanna County Conservation District Board. Dr. Jay Clymer, Clarksoma, Pennsylvania, for 4-year term to expire on December 31st, 2020. Mr. Tom Maluski, Lake Ariel, Pennsylvania, for 4-year term to expire on December 31st, 2020. Mr. Louis Peregrine, Fairview Road, Clarksoma, Pennsylvania, for 4-year term to expire on December 31st, 2020. And Mr. Ron Phillips, Dalton, Pennsylvania, for 4-year term to expire on December 31st, 2020. And Commissioner Laureen Cummings is the commissioner representative on this board and has made the recommendation of these appointments. If there are any questions on them.
I know you want to talk about it. Go ahead.
Oh, the Conservation District, I just think they do a great job. I mean, these guys work really hard. I'm disappointed that more people don't show up to their board meetings. They're just as important as our meetings are here. You know, I know during the campaigns I was asked, which I wasn't quite sure of an answer on, environmental issues when the League of Women Voters asked me, and I said, can I get back to you until I research that further? So now I'm on the Conservation Board, researched as much as I possibly can so far to this date, and they do a tremendous job in helping our county with all different kinds of things, gardening, roadways. They do, you know, roads that are deteriorating, we repave, and they help out our farmers when they're having issues. They go out to Harrisburg and discuss issues on, I don't know if you've all seen those PP&L hideous poles they're putting up across the county and wherever else they are, but those were placed in areas after discussions with neighbors and conservation boards in regards to how they'd affect the areas that they put them up in, whose neighborhoods they were in. I mean, they look out for the neighbors on a consistent basis. They're very good. If you have a problem with your landscaping or runoff, you know, I was at German's meeting, and they were talking about this one road that the water just continually destroys the bottom of the roadway. I know Jerry Stiles is looking at that for them. They just do an awesome job. I can't say enough good about them, and I really don't think that, you know, media never shows up at their meetings. I've asked the Times, WNEP, I've asked every one of them to show up at their meetings, and nobody ever shows up. And I don't think they get the recognition that they deserve. So I appreciate the work that they're doing, and even though I disagree fundamentally with the EPA and their premise, I do recognize work that's done on behalf of the citizens, and these people are very good workers, and they're very dedicated, and you know, I just would hope to see more people at their meetings, and it's once a month on Thursdays, so.
I would just like to commend Commissioner Cummings for her job and her work with that board.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I also would like to echo the same sentiments. It's a board that a lot of people don't realize what they do. Like, it's amazing. Like, just from they put to make sure silt doesn't get into rivers and stuff, and making sure that certain manure is not on the fields. It's just so many different things that they're to make sure that the community's kept safe, and you know, it's amazing. They really care about what they do.
They really do.
And I think most of these people have actually been on the board
Years.
probably years. Yeah.
Years and years,
Years and years and years. They really care about it.
Yeah.
So at this time, I'd like to make a motion for the appointments Lackawanna County Conservation District Board. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Terriani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cummings?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley?
Yes. Thank you. They do a great job. Okay, opportunity for the public to address the board. Martina. All right. Let's talk about the library.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Where's Joan at? Let's get Joan up first. Okay, I want to make sure Joan's here. Good. Okay.
My name is Martina Soda, and I'm head of reference at the Scranton Public Library, 500 Vine Street, Scranton. Today I'm going to actually talk about Monday morning. Well, Monday, June 12th, was the opening day of a Build a Better World. It's the Lackawanna County Summer Reading Club's annual reading club for the summer. It's read or listen to 10 books and earn prizes and attend events. It's for birth to 12 years old. For signing up, the child gets a Build a Better World backpack, a passport to Lackawanna County programs, and they also get a ticket to Raptors Rule. It's a bird of prey program that's going to be held Sunday, June 18th at 2 p.m. And that's where the children actually can come in and they'll bring in the birds, and that will be a nice program. So we hope everybody gets their children signed up. As he said, it's birth to 12 years old, and they get to attend all these events and get free prizes as well. So thank you.
Thanks, Martina.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Name and address.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Katie Hosey, German.
Thanks for coming in, Katie.
I'm sorry, what was your last name? I apologize.
Hosey, H-O-S-I-E.
Thank you.
Recently, the Times stated that there is a surplus in the county of $11 million. I'm here about reassessment. It is my understanding that the county needs to keep most of it in surplus to keep the county's A rating.
Correct.
Okay? If it wasn't the case, I was going to ask, why doesn't the county pay down its debt? Next, when the last reassessment was attempted, it cost $4 million and was never completed because of the costs. Does the county have the money in reserve to do a countywide assessment, or will the county have to take a loan or do a bond for this? If this is the case, wouldn't it be possible that county taxes would go up? Next, if a reassessment is passed and a borough says their mills would go down by half, does a borough have to wait any length of time to raise the taxes, the mills up again? Or could they do that right away?
At the county level, we can, on our second vote, we can increase the taxes, but it has to be revenue neutral for everybody, including the borough.
Yeah, but could the borough, say after a year, say, well, we need to raise it back up to 10 mills more? Could they do that?
They have the ability to tax at any rate they want, yeah.
Now, I had several calls from some older residents of German, and a lot of them have been in their homes for 50 years. They live on a limited income.
That's right.
Social Security. And if their taxes go up, they're going to lose their homes, most of them. I'm on a limited income, and I don't have a $150,000 home. I mean, I couldn't afford my taxes going up. And I was told that this would be done because reassessment in newer homes that are being built in some of the towns and boroughs, German is landlocked. We don't have any room for any growth. So I'm just asking, why can't this be put on the November ballot for the voters to decide?
Thank you.
It's not, we're not sure of the legality of that. Apparently, there's some kind of legal question on putting it on the ballot, but I think Don Frederickson can answer some questions on it.
That'll be under Commissioner's business.
When is the next Commissioners' meeting?
The 28th of June.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming in, Katie.
Anyone else?
Joan Hodawan at Scranton. Speaking of reassessment, when are we going to get a decision on what you're going to do or not do?
We'll talk about it under Commissioner's business.
Okay, because this has been hanging fire, and, you know, we would like an answer one way or the other. Swinging on Vine and the Friends of the Scranton Public Library book sale, both very successful events. We want to thank everyone who patronized these events to help us raise funds for the library. I can't think of a more worthy organization to receive your support in these type of events. You know, it's a win-win. During this book sale, I bought a hardcover book that originally sold for $60 for $2. Okay, so it was a win-win. Now, I want to talk about, not quite, but almost free money, which ought to make everybody jump up for joy, okay? Because there is such a thing, apparently. I have been paying taxes for, God help me, 50 years, since 1967, okay? And I can remember every glorious year. And the first year is when I learned about FICA tax. You remember FICA tax? And I didn't understand, you know, they're taking this tax, and they said, well, when you're an old lady, you know, it'll come back to you. Well, I'm now an old lady. But as I've gotten older, and I read the obituaries every day, and boy, some days, there are more than half the obituaries for people that are younger than I am. It means I'm getting long in the tooth. And I work so hard for every penny that I have. I've never inherited a penny, I've never won any lotteries. I had to work for it all. And I had to save and sacrifice and invest and do without. Haven't driven a car for almost 5 years. Okay? So I said, well, I'll be darned if the tax man is going to take any more money out of my cold, dead hands when I die. I want it to go to my nephew and heir. So a few months ago, I rolled over some of my investments into another life insurance policy, and that's fine. So that means when I die and my nephew gets the money, he doesn't have to pay taxes on it. That's 28% federal and 14.4% Pennsylvania, and they can go pound sand because it's legal, okay? But then I had a wonderful experience because I bought this policy from New York Life, which is a major company, and there's a new thing going on with insurance companies because they all want to be good corporate citizens, you know? So what they'll do is if you buy a life insurance policy, they will match 1% of the face value of the policy to any charity you designate. And I've designated the Scranton Public Library. So when I die, they'll get a nice check for just under $10,000. Okay? It's not my money. It's not my nephew's money. Well, actually, it's partly our money. I am sure they get it out of commission fees over all their clients. So I'm here to tell you, as a lot of times when I go to Mass on Sunday and I get the bulletin, they say, please remember us in your wills, you know, and from the Scranton Historical Society and all the other societies and schools and whatever. And they want you to give your money from your personal estate to them when you die. Well, here's another way that you can donate to them if you think they're worthy, and the public libraries are worthy. You ever have to buy a life insurance policy, please ask if they have this kind of matching program. And then remember, any of your Lackawanna County public libraries, they're well-deserving. Every penny that goes into them goes back to the community with interest, a lot of interest. And remember, too, it's summertime. Go to the Children's Library on Vine Street and see what they're offering for children for the price of a library card, which is $0. Thank you.
Thanks, John. I'm going to use the men's room.
Good morning, Marie Schumacher.
Good morning, Marie.
1799 East Mountain Road, which brings me to the first point that I want to make today as an East Mountain resident who has been out doing yard work, and including last night until dusk. It was a little disconcerting to pick up the paper today and find out West Nile virus infected mosquitoes have been found at Robinson Park. I would like to know how we get more information. The paper did say that a wider area was going to be tested, but it didn't specify what the radius is, and steps would be taken. I don't know how long that takes. I would also like to know how long that takes. Most people, I was slathered in peppermint oil, so I felt protected, but you know, there's kids out playing until dusk, and
yeah, I don't
want to put a lot of chemicals on them personally, but which is why I use peppermint oil. But that I would like those answers. From whom do I go to Mr. Chisdock directly, or?
Mr. Davis is here, and he's listening to your concerns, and he's going to be able to address them when you're finished.
Okay, thank you. The other is, that was a new one. The other one is the old one. I am also here on behalf of reassessment. Today's, just by, I guess maybe it's ironical, there were only 4 properties transferred in the paper today. And of those, I'm sure you're all aware that the common level ratio is the ratio of the assessed value of your home to the market value. Currently, it'll change on the 1st of July, probably, but currently it is 6.9. Of the 4 properties that were transferred, 3 of them were in Scranton, and all 3 of them were well below the common level ratio. One was 1.4. The house sold for $30,000. It was assessed at $22,000. So you know what that does to your taxes. These people, a lot of people in Scranton are paying well more than they should be paying, so you get hit twice. You get hit with paying higher taxes while you're in your home, and if you try to sell your home, you get a much lower market value, a market price.
What was it at now, Marie?
Pardon?
What was the value at? What was the ratio at now?
Of that house?
Right.
1.4.
Yeah, you guys are going to probably be at 0 soon. I mean, with the rate you guys get taxed.
You know, that's the bad news. And over almost 60 or 50% of the Scranton properties are sold at below the common level ratio. And the good news is I've been working on a reassessment program that all it would, because a lot of information is already available digitally, I believe that we could do a reassessment. Would need a state law change, but I don't think that should be a problem, because then every municipality or county could do their reassessments whenever they wanted to with the press of a button. And they could change annually and remain current instead of going into the situation where we are now. I hope to have it written up in time for the next meeting, but thanks to PEL's exit Act 47 and in the Scranton Sewer Authority hearings next week, I've been a little bit busy getting ready for those. Otherwise, I would have had it today. But I will be bringing it, and I will be presenting it to my state legislators as well. And I'm still disappointed. Maybe we could get a date when we're going to hear. I've been waiting
Commissioner O'Malley will address the issue.
over 6
So
months.
I'll be talking about too.
Yeah, over 6 months for that report that's been in work, so.
I would like to ask, what do you expect to get out of reassessment, Marie? Like,
Fairness.
What? For who? I mean, you're saying the common level ratio of the houses are 1.4. That's nothing to do with the reassessment.
Pardon?
I mean, that's not going to change. And what do you think is going to happen once reassessment comes in? Is my question to you. Do you think it's going to go up?
Well, it'll be fair. Do you think it's fair for a house to be assessed at $22,000 and it sells for $30,000 and you're paying the taxes for as long as you've been in it on 22 at almost the market value of your home?
Okay, so a house sold more than what the person paid for it? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm sorry. Do that again.
You say it again, because you said it's a lot of stuff right then and there. So it was a lot. 22,000 it sold.
No, 22,000
is what it's
is
worth?
the assessed value.
Okay.
And the market value was 30,000. And if you'd like the list for the whole year, I'd be happy to provide them.
That was just the sale of the property, just a regular retail sale. That wasn't through anything through the judicial sales. It was just a regular sale.
Yeah, unfortunately, judicial sales, and that's another thing I like to bring up. Judicial sales do not get reported in the paper as transactions. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the paper or if it's the county, but
okay, let me just get back to that one thing, because
Yeah.
I'm really curious. I just want to know, I just like to understand where you're coming from on that. So the house was assessed at $22,000. It sold for $30,000.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think should have happened?
I think for the last, well, if you take, it's close enough that it's, say, 20% your assessed value is 20% of the market, should be about 20% of the market value. So what I'm saying is it would be fair if that's what we all paid, but you have a lot, the fourth house was assessed at 13, or the common level ratio was 13.1. So they're paying a lot less taxes.
When the house sold for
Then the-
$30,000, their taxes should be no more than, the assessed value shouldn't be any more than $6,000.
Well, see, that's because you live in Scranton, though. Don't you understand? Like
No, Carbondale's the same. There are a lot of places. I have them for the whole year. If you'd like them, the point is, it is fairness. And is it fair for people to pay taxes on a high assessment that is inaccurate in relation to the market value?
Okay.
And then when you put your house on the market, you have to, again, just give it away is really what it amounts to.
So it's basically the sale price is what you're looking at.
No, I'm looking at the ratio between the assessment and the sale price.
Okay, so the high tax in relation to the, okay, got it.
Okay, that is what the common level ratio is. And roughly, and I'm just speaking because I'm a resident of Scranton, but it's close to 50%. I think last time I calculated, it's been a couple of weeks. It's
So do you think they're going to come
48%.
down then for the city of Scranton? Is that what you're looking for? Because if they come down in Scranton, they have to go up somewhere else.
I'm looking for fairness. Yes, I am. I am looking places where there's places where the
'Cause it's
common level
revenue
ratio
neutral.
is 20. These people are not. They're willing to pay the price for their home, but it's also based on the fact that then their taxes are less than.
Are you just looking in Scranton itself? So
No. I'm looking the state.
So if your house is
if
assessed,
either that or if there's another way that's fairer, then come up with it.
Okay.
But it should be fair.
all right. I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Because I value your opinion. I think I really do.
But
And, I don't agree with you on this one issue, and I'm
Yeah,
trying to. I'm trying to
well,
understand.
I'm trying to understand why you don't believe in fairness.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to explain that.
And I know you're concerned for people who are aging, but a lot of those people, because it's been out of whack for so long, the common level ratio, they've probably been paying more taxes than they should have that could have gone into fixing up their homes, so then their homes get deteriorated.
Well, that's what would happen if that's what I think would happen if reassessment happened. But
It's
I don't want to go
happening
into
now,
the back.
but in a different
Save it
way.
for
But I'll
yeah.
have that discussion with you at some point.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
And I'm anxious to hear about the West Nile virus fix.
Oh yeah, is he gonna?
Anyone else? No, anyone else?
Somebody else is ready to talk.
Let me get all the visiting delegations first, then Bill, you'll be.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you? My name's Matt Ballas. I'm the staff representative from AFSCME, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Our office is in Dunmore here in Lackawanna County. And I'm proud and privileged to represent the people at the Office of Youth and Family Services. And I came here today to thank you, commissioners, especially for approving our collective bargaining agreement. I also want to thank everybody who was involved in the negotiations. As Justin said, it was very respectful, professional. It was a pleasure to have that relationship with you guys. I want to thank Andy Wallace, the Chief of Staff, Justin, Director Browning, and especially President Lou Strazzeri and his negotiating team. Everything went smoothly. And as the commissioner said, everybody doesn't get everything they want. That's how negotiations work. But this is a fair agreement, equitable for everybody. It does not hurt the taxpayers of this county. I want to thank the folks who work at the Office of Youth and Family Services. They have a difficult, demanding, and sometimes even dangerous job. They serve some of the most at-risk and at-need citizens, children, and family in this county. It's the nature of the job, and they do it very well. Lackawanna County is looked at by the whole state as a model for an excellent work in this field. A lot of places, especially our neighbor to the south, would love to be like Lackawanna County in the services that they provide, and I'm very proud to be their representative.
I would absolutely love to have our options.
The one thing you have to keep in mind, these workers are expected to go out and take care of kids and families that live in the county, and they need to be able to take care of their own kids and their own families to be able to do that. And this collective bargaining agreement goes a long way to seeing that that's happening, and I just wanted to thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Cummings?
Is Bill going to?
I think Bill's actually just explained it to her direct.
Oh,
Or do you
okay.
want-
I didn't know.
yeah.
He explained it to her.
Okay.
I guess I'll start with Matt. He came. Thank you for coming in, Matt. In regards to the contracts, I saw an article in the Scranton Times about transparency. I think it was yesterday. It was in a different issue, but I really do believe that the union contracts should be available to the public. I really do. And I know that John had talked to me about the state writing a bill in regards to making that public. I did go through the Senate. Yeah, and I'm not sure if it got through the House prior to that or if it ever got any further. But I feel like all union negotiations should be online at least 60 days prior for the public to review and have input on. And it's their money. It's the taxpayers' money. And, it's funny because working here, it seems to me sometimes there are certain, and I'm not going to, it just seems that people tend to forget sometimes that it's actually taxpayers' money. It's not money that came from, they think it comes from the state, but that's taxpayers' money. That's still coming out of somebody's paycheck. It just, there are certain things that I think everyone needs to look at. And I think CYS does a good job. I was in foster care. I know the work that you do. And I appreciate the work that they all do. I appreciate the work all the county workers do. And honestly, I don't think, I don't even know if I should say that they don't get paid enough, but I think they don't. My issue wasn't with that. It was with days off, and I don't believe that election day should be off. I didn't see an issue with that, so that was the only issue I had that I could find. But I do appreciate the work that y'all do, and I thank you for coming in. And I just had that one issue, so so you all knew where I stood, because you didn't get the opportunity to hear my voice in those negotiations. And I wish they had. I wish that I had the opportunity to sit down with you and discuss that. Anyway, so that's where I stood on that. So thank you again, and I appreciate all the work that all of you in the back there did. And now Katie Hosey from German came in, and thank you so much for coming in. I'm glad to see somebody from German coming to our meeting and questioning some of the things that are going on. I did have the opportunity to come up to the board meeting when they had requested a written letter to the commissioners, which I think we received this week, didn't we, Andy?
I believe we did with their position on it. It's on my desk.
Yeah.
All the commissioners received it.
Yeah, and I appreciate anybody getting involved in the process and asking questions, and that's something that I've consistently encouraged by both sides or any other person, any other party. I like to have debate. I like to have because you can't come up with a solution unless you know what the other person's thinking. So, I know that reassessment is a big issue, and I did address that at the German meeting, saying that our surplus it's there for a reason, and it is there to keep our costs down. Tom isn't here. Is Tom Durkin here? No. Andy, what was it, like 300 and some thousand we were paying out every year just for a fee because of
It's called a surveillance
the
fee.
surveillance fee, yeah.
And we do have, by law, we have to have a minimum of our balance set aside in a surplus. We do exceed that by an amount because we are trying to protect our bond rating in our, for future areas.
Yeah, and I'm sure Commissioner O'Malley will expand on that further. As far as your question on paying down our debt, we've been working very hard every year to pay down our debt. We just signed off today on the bonds that we voted on at our last meeting.
$4 million savings this year. You pointed out this morning in the pre-signing, Commissioner. You asked for that and received it.
Yes, $4 million. So
That was just this year. Last year was in excess of 16 to 20, and we anticipate another one next year that Commissioner O'Malley is going to be announcing in the near future.
And you know, we do work on that, and I'm proud to say I'm working with, you know, commissioners that are actually targeted right on that and right on board. And thank you, Commissioner O'Malley and Nutariani, for your work on that. In regards to, I'm just trying to get past I'll get to reassessment last, if you don't mind, because a lot of people asked on that. Joan, thanks for letting us know about the insurance. I appreciate that. My 10% actually goes to my church, so I don't think they'd be happy with me if I gave it somewhere else. But I'll talk to you about it further, see if there's something else. West Nile was already addressed, and that was from Marie. In regards to some of the budgets for human services, before I go to reassessment, I just want to say people aren't used to, because the past 8 years we've had a different administration in office, and they're not used to the fact that there may be cuts coming down the pike. But there may be cuts coming down the pike, and I just have to say that every single week to make sure that people are understanding that, you know, CCAP, I was just in a meeting yesterday, and CCAP actually is getting a letter out to Harrisburg claiming that their budget isn't, you know, like Trump just said, Trump fair or nice, or, well, I didn't know that budgets were supposed to be nice and kind, and I just, it's money. So, I mean, it's their money. It's taxpayers' money. And it's going to, there's going to be some cuts somewhere. I don't know where yet, because obviously it's not done. So that's why I'm kind of leery on the human services and some of those expenditures we have. And I'm glad to see that our directors are prepared and willing to adjust their budgets if needed. On reassessment, back to reassessment, last point of contention. Andy's been working on it, on coming up with, you know, letting the commissioners know what's been going on in different areas with reassessment, and kind of giving us ideas of costs and stuff. So I'm not sure, I mean, that's just an informational thing, correct, Andy? You're going to inform us?
I'm going to be giving you some information and options that you might want to follow. Not a recommendation, it's going to be options. Options that were requested by the commissioners.
Okay, well, in regards to reassessment, I mean, I think people have allowed, you know, this word fairness always seems to come into play. And what I talked about in German is, you know, when I bought my house, when I initially bought my house, I was looking at a lot of different things. Fairness of my neighbor's taxes wasn't one of them. I mean, I was looking at where are the schools. There's a school in my backyard, which there is. There's the grocery store, the church. I mean, I had everything surrounding me. The cost, what I was going to pay for the property. Can I afford the monthly payments? But never in my mind did I think and look across the street and say, I wonder if in 20 years that house is going to be paying more in taxes than I am or less. Is it going to be fair? Because honestly, as a 25-year-old woman, it didn't even enter my mind. It just didn't. I was looking to the future. I was looking to the fact that, you know, I was so proud of the fact that I was able to afford a property, that I could provide a home for my 4 children. Like, I just, that's the thing I was looking at. Is there enough bedrooms? I mean, those are the kind of things that you look at as a new homeowner. where this fairness issue comes into play is beyond me. How this got to this point where people are fighting and back and forth over, I don't understand that concept. There is no fairness in property home ownership. When you own a property, you put money into it, you purchase it, and then you hope to God that it gains its value that you're in the lifetime that you're there, so you have a nest egg. That's the way I was looking at it. I was looking at it as investment. That's what home ownership is, an investment in property. That you can, like Joan was saying, you can have something. If you don't have a lot of money that you can leave to your children, you can at least leave them your home. That's the American dream, isn't it? That was what I always thought, and that's the American dream. My kids now have a place and a stable home that they can keep in our family forever if they wish to. If they don't, then they're going to sell it at more than I purchased it for. Those are the kinds of things I thought in my head. I wasn't looking at this other. Now maybe that's naivete. I don't know what. That's just what I think the American dream is, and to say that after years of people, like, I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into my over the year. I'm 53. I'm going to be 53 in 2 weeks. So I've invested a lot of money in my properties. A lot of money. Never did I think that investment was going to be lost when I'm 80 because I can't afford to pay a tax bill. No one should ever lose their home to a tax, ever. That is not what America is about. That is not what our founders wanted. There has got to be another way to make this work where taxes are paid, and there is. There is a House Bill 76 and Senate Bill 76 that rids the property tax, and there's also ways to get rid of the county tax as well. So, where it's not such a burden. This is a huge burden. People have lost their homes. To this day, we're still putting all these people on our judicial sales, upset sales, repository list. We just had, how many homes, Commissioner? 100 houses on the land bank that we have right now, just in Scranton alone? 123? 123 homes in the land bank right now.
That's homes, that's land.
Properties, homes.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, I've gotten calls where the homes were actually demolished and there was just land. I mean, now people are upset over the land that they're losing because they can't get it back. But, I mean, this, I have to say, I can't understand that concept of fairness in this. I can't. I just don't there's no fair tax. There's no way to make this fair, because the minute that reassessment's done, somebody could change it anyway. And, I mean, that's just on the concept of it. Now, as far as the costs go, the reason the cost is so such a heavy burden to our county is the last commissioners that did this, they started it, and didn't it stop because was a new administration in?
New commissioners came in and they could.
Yeah, new commissioners came into office, which we have, a new election coming up in 2 years, 2.5 years. By the time even if we were to agree to it, by the time it were to occur, you don't know that the three of us are going to be up here. A new election will be coming. So if somebody else is elected, they could just cancel it. And there goes whatever money we spent on it for the 2.5 years that we were here. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I get a lot of questions on the money that we have in surplus, but I'm going to let that for you, because you were here when they voted on that, so I want to make sure that I leave that point to you. But it is going to cost, I don't know, anywhere from what we're hearing, 5, maybe 12, between 5 and 12 million, somewhere in that range.
Ranges could go anywhere from $65 a property up to $125 a property, plus the cost of computer upgrades and the cost
The
of
GIS, yeah.
and changing staff in the assessor's office. There's a wide range.
It's not just going out and looking at homes and putting, it's a lot more work than just that, and it takes a lot longer than people expect. And the ones that have just got, there's only, so many, 2 people that do this, and there's so many different things that I looked at on when they did do the reassessments in other counties. I mean, there is no 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 rule. That is just a false, and it's just a lie. Anybody that repeats that is lying to you, because nobody can prove that. I have asked multiple times for the proof that it's 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And nobody can prove that to me. And as a matter of fact, out in Blair County, I believe that's what the lawsuit is about right now in regards to their assessment, because the county's now being questioned on that ruling because they don't believe it either. And too many people were affected by it. You can look this up. You don't need an answer from us as to how bad it can be. I mean, go and look at the counties, Luzerne County. Altoona just had it with Blair County. Monroe County's going through it right now. But those commissioners are retiring. And then I heard that Scranton Times, which brings to my last point, is about election. They have a lot of nerve putting words in my mouth as to why I don't want reassessment. The reason I don't want reassessment, Kyle, is because I don't want anybody else losing their homes. Enough people have already lost their homes in this county. And I'm really tired of seeing that. I get the calls here. I just had a call from a woman crying yesterday over the fact that she lost her property in a bid. It's like, you can't win. You try and help out in a different section with the land bank, and then their house gets sold, and they don't get it back anyway. I mean, it's just out of control. It needs to stop. And reassessment is only going to pit one neighbor against another, just as it is already. And I had gone to the Germans meeting to ask them to please, also if they have a letter, which they did say that they were going to look at, writing it to the county commissioners about reassessment, that they also write to our state legislators and our governor to finally pass House Bill and Senate Bill 76 and rid us of this horrendous property tax burden for once and for all. It needs to end. Thank you. That's all I have.
Commissioner Terriani? Okay. When I got here in January 2012, there was a lot of issues that were going on, and some of them were being fixed. It took a lot of time. The previous 4 years before I got here, from 8 to 12, there was a lot of work that was going on. But in 2012, we made sure from that day forward that all of our audits were done on time, yearly, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, currently working on 16. We didn't have a bond rating at all. And one of the big things they said with the bond ratings, you have to have a fund balance on the side. We have a fund balance. And that helped us to get our A stable bond rating, which helped us to refinance the $70 million and helped us to refinance our last financing that we just did that saved us $4 million. We need to have a fund balance at all times. It can't be just utilized. And it would just be gone completely if there was a reassessment. Now, getting to the reassessment part. I own a property that's approximately 80-some years old, maybe 90. Pay $1,100 for that property. Parents' house. Then I own that house that we built 19 years ago. Well, I think it's about $6,250. It's a lot of money.
So it did go up.
But it's a scary, the numbers are scary between the older houses and the newer houses. And they also put me in the paper that I was concerned about about reassessment because of elections. That's never been something that's been a concern about if a reassessment was going to hurt us in an election or not. There's a lot of concerns on both sides of this, and I understand there's two sides to this story. We have people that come in that are for reassessment. We have people that come in that are against reassessment. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to be meeting with our chief of staff, and he's going to bring back all of his information he's been working on for the last 6 months. He's going to sit down with the three of us. He's going to go over everything with us. So hopefully as of June 28th, because I want to pigeonhole myself, we will have a statement that will come from the chief of staff of what went on at our meeting. At least the meeting part, so everybody understands.
Well,
they want to understand what it is.
I don't want a statement from our chief of staff. What I'd like to know, I would like him to tell the public on how all those reassessments affected the people in those areas. That's what I think that they were looking for in regards to whether or not we should go forward with it or not.
Well, that's why we're going to have our meeting first, and then the chief of staff will come forward, hopefully on the 28th or the preceding meeting. So that's what's going to be going on, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Reassessment could cost us $8 to $12 million. They're not absolute numbers, but they're pretty close. So for us to keep our a stable bond rating and to be able to keep a fund balance, we would absolutely we'd have to float a bond. We absolutely would have to. So these are some of the things that we will have to look at, and we are here to represent all 214,000 citizens. So, certain percentage wants it, certain percentage doesn't. So the information that we're going to receive from the Chief of Staff is going to be part of what's going to happen in the near future. So we'll be letting you know about that. Also, at this time, I'd like to thank Matt Ballas for coming out today. Thank you, Matt. Great job, and the team, and Lou and everybody for being here. We've had some horrible, outrageous stuff happen in our world, and I just want to bring it up real quick. The London knife attack, concert bombing at Westminster, 3 lives lost in Wyoming County. Just senseless losses. These things just can't be going on. Our world, there's a lot of scary things going on. And to our viewing audience, everybody here in our audience, be observant, be cautious, be aware. If there's anything that you think is out of the ordinary, contact the authorities, contact the police department. Please, a lot of losses and families that will never ever be the same have gone down, not just in the last couple of weeks, but for the last year and a half. A lot of scary things have happened in our country and outside of our country. So please, be safe, be cautious, be aware. I'd like to congratulate all of our graduates. We have a lot of students that graduated from high school and college, and they're going to be going off into the workforce, or the ones that are going from high school are going to be going into the military, the workforce, or to college. Please, celebrate sober. I know everybody's young. Everybody thinks they're superhuman and nothing's going to happen to you. A lot of people have died because they celebrated. Please, celebrate sober. Celebrate with your family. We don't want to lose any young people in our community, please. And to all of our students, summer's coming up. Be safe. Please swim with other people. Make sure you're in the right group. Make sure your children wear life preservers. Make sure that there's constant adult supervision if they're in the age that they need adult supervision, because we have a lot of wonderful children. We don't want to lose any of them. And a big thing that we just had go off, we have the electronic pickup. Please reach out to your municipalities. People are seeing in the paper the announcement of this municipality, that municipality, that they're picking up the electronics. This is going to go on from June 12th to June 26th. Please, please reach out to your municipality, see how they're going to collect them. Get your electronics out to the curb or wherever they have to be. We don't want that blight in our streets, on our roads, strewn everywhere. It has to go. And last but not least, Father's Day. My dad died 25 years ago. He's my hero, my friend. I miss him. I'd like to wish him a happy Father's Day, and all the fathers in our viewing audience that are here today. Father's Day is a very special moment. Everyone remembers great things that you've done with your dad. Please go out, celebrate, enjoy your father, and enjoy what he did for you. And I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
A second.
Roll call. They're all in favor.
Aye.
Aye. Beautiful.
Can you imagine them after